Hi, I'm Ken Kessler, and welcome to the Sounds of Christmas podcast. If you're new to this podcast, I want to start by saying thanks for joining us. If you're not new, welcome back. Either way, I'm glad you're here. Now, to avoid any confusion, I want to start off by saying there won't be any music played here. This is a place for conversation. I'll talk about Christmas music and some related topics, sometimes by myself and sometimes with guests. If you're looking for music, just go to soundsofchristmas.com and click on the tree or the player on the front page or on the Listen Now page. We play the best variety of Christmas music all year long. Well, except in October, when we play the best variety of Halloween music. If you've been listening to the Sounds of Christmas for the last couple of days, you no doubt found that it's become the Sounds of Halloween, playing Halloween music for the entire month of October. You also probably heard a song or two from the Addams Family and or the Munsters, or about the Addams Family or the Munsters. And it occurred to me that both of these classic TV families are not only still around, but still creating and inspiring music. So I thought that might be worth looking into. First, let's take a look at these two TV families and what they've done since they first came on the scene. The original Addams Family television series aired for just 2 seasons from September 1964 to April 1966, with 64 episodes. The original Munsters TV series ran for 2 seasons during the same time frame with 70 total episodes. In 1972, the 3rd episode of the Saturday morning animated series The New Scooby-Doo Movies featured the Addams Family. John Astin, Carolyn Jones, Jackie Coogan, and Ted Cassidy all reprised their roles. 11-year-old Jodie Foster provided the voice of Pugsley. This episode was the pilot for the 1973 animated series. Jackie Coogan and Ted Cassidy were the only original series cast members who returned for this animated series. Jodie Foster also returned as the voice of Pugsley. In late 1972, ABC produced a pilot for a live-action musical variety show, which was titled The Addams Family Funhouse. The cast included Jack Riley and Liz Torres as Gomez and Morticia. The pair also co-wrote the special. Stubby Kaye was Uncle Fester, Pat McCormick was Lurch, and Butch Patrick, who played Eddie Munster on the Munsters, was Pugsley. Felix Silla reprised his role as Cousin It, connecting this show to the original TV series. Pilot aired in 1973, but was not picked up. A reunion TV film, Halloween with the New Addams Family, aired on NBC in October of 1977, and it starred all of the original cast except for Blossom Rock, who was very ill at the time and was replaced as Grandmama by Phyllis actress Jane Rose. The film also included extended family members created specifically for this production, such as Gomez's brother Pancho, played by Henry Darrow, and 2 additional children, Wednesday Jr. and Pugsley Jr. The latter 2 were portrayed as near copies of the original children, now known as Wednesday Sr. and Pugsley Sr., who were once again played, respectively, by Lisa Loring and Ken Weatherwax, the original Wednesday and Pugsley in the TV series. And Vic Mizzy rewrote and conducted the series theme, again, an instrumental. John Astin reprised his role as Gomez for a 1992 animated adaptation of the series. Ken Weatherwax and Lisa Loring, the only other 2 original cast members that were still alive at the time, did not participate. Then there was the big box office success of the movie The Addams Family, released by Paramount in 1991. It starred Raul Julia as Gomez, Angelica Houston as Morticia, Christopher Lloyd as Uncle Fester, and Christina Ricci as Wednesday. A sequel, Addams Family Values, followed a couple years later to greater critical success than the first film, though it earned less at the box office. The remake series, the Addams Family animated series, ran on Saturday mornings from 1992 to 1993 on ABC after producers realized the success of the new Addams Family movies. John Astin returned as Gomez. Rip Taylor and Carol Channing took over the roles of Fester and Grandmama. In 1998, a standalone film, Addams Family Reunion, aired on the Fox Family Channel, followed by the series The New Addams Family that ran from 1998 to 2000. John Astin appeared in the series, this time as Grandpapa Addams. A Tim Burton stop-motion film was announced in 2010, but it never developed. Instead, an MGM animated film was announced in 2013. Film was eventually released in 2019 to moderate box office reception, a sequel released a couple years later amid the COVID pandemic was far less successful. And in 2021, Netflix announced a live-action TV series adaptation based on Wednesday Addams, produced by MGM Television, starring Jenna Ortega as the title character. And now that the writer's strike is over, the rumor is that season 2 is in the works. Several Munsters movies were released over the years, 3 featuring the original cast members. That was Munsters Go Home in 1966, The Mini Munsters 1973, and The Munsters Revenge in 1981. A television film titled Here Come the Munsters came out in 1995, and The Munsters' Scary Little Christmas was released in 1996. A feature film titled The Munsters was released 1 year ago. A first-run syndicated television series titled The Munsters Today ran from 1988 to 1991. It ran for 72 episodes, just a couple episodes longer than the original series. A reboot was developed for NBC from Brian Fuller, the guy behind Pushing Daisies. It was going to be a 1-hour drama with spectacular visuals, they say. And NBC even ordered a pilot and announced in January 2 it would be called Mockingbird Lane, which was a reference to the Munsters' address. However, it never came to be, and that pilot episode was retooled, and in October 2012, it came out as a Halloween special. So that's a lot of information, but usually what we talk about here is music. So what about the music that's tied to either of these spooky families? Well, the original Addams Family TV show gave us their iconic theme song by Vic Mizzy, and then little else until the big screen movie in 1991. In that film, we got the Mamushka, performed on screen by Raul Julia as Gomez and Christopher Lloyd as Uncle Fester. That movie also gave us the Addams Groove, performed by MC Hammer during the credits. In the sequel, Addams Family Values, singer Michael Jackson was supposed to feature a song in the film called Addams Groove Family Thing. Due to contractual issues with Paramount, that didn't happen, and we ended up getting a reworked version of Tag Team's Whoop, There It Is as Addams Family Whoop. In 2010, an original cast recording was released from the Addams Family musical on Broadway, featuring Nathan Lane leading the cast in the song When You're an Addams, and Bebe Neuwirth performing Just Around the Corner, where she sang Death Was Lurking. By the way, Nathan Lane was Gomez and Bebe Neuwirth was Morticia. In 2019, Christina Aguilera released Haunted Heart from the animated Addams Family movie, and then she returned a couple years later to perform her take on the original Addams Family theme song for Addams Family 2, the second animated movie. A couple years ago, Whitney Avalon released a parody of Billie Eilish's song Bad Guy, done in the style of the Addams Family, as if Wednesday were performing it. As for the Munsters, we got 2 different theme songs, one for each season back in the 60s. The Munsters also released an album in the 60s, but the producers didn't use the actors from the TV show on this album. They used the famous session group, The Wrecking Crew, most notably Glenn Campbell and Leon Russell, along with a band called the Go-Go's, not the same Go-Go's that sang Vacation and We Got the Beat. Among the highlight for this record are the songs Herman's Place, Frankenstein Had a Hot Rod Car, and Munster Creep. Over the years, many bands have covered one or the other of the Munsters TV show themes, including the Comatines, Los Straitjackets, and Mannheim Steamroller. In 1998, Rob Zombie released the song Dragula. Its title was taken from the name of Grandpa's dragster, Dragula. The music video, in fact, mimics in part the Munsters taking a ride in the car. A sample of the show's theme song guitar riff was also used in the song Uma Thurman by Fall Out Boy. And Rob Zombie released They Are the Munsters last year from his new Munsters movie. I'm not sure if that's all, but it's a pretty good list. And you'll hear most, if not all, of these songs this month as the sounds of Halloween rolls along all month long. Thanks so much for listening and for continuing to support the Sounds of Christmas station and podcast. I told you how to listen to the station, and you're already listening to the podcast, so my work here is just about done. All of our episodes are available on the Sounds of Christmas website. Just click the podcast tab. We also have a Linktree page so you can find us on your favorite streaming site, and then you can subscribe and you'll never miss another episode. And I'll put the link for the Linktree page down in the show notes. If you have comments or suggestions on this episode, previous episodes, the Sounds of Christmas Station, or the Sounds of Halloween, feel free to reach out to me on social media or through the website. Thanks again, and may you always believe in Santa Claus and the Great Pumpkin.